Hi, thanks for joining the innovation channel of Transform Live 2020. My name is Joseph Fay. I'm the VP of Global Supply Chain for the Water and Technologies business unit within Suez. Over the next 30 minutes or so, I'll be giving you my perspective on supply chain technology and innovation trends over what can only be described as an unprecedented past year. During the session, I'll walk you through some key areas where I believe supply chain technology and innovation is driving transformational change in my own industry, but where hopefully much of it will either resonate with your own experiences or spark some interest for future investigation. Just to start, I'd like to give you a grounding on Suez. You may recognize the name, but not be familiar with what we actually do. Sure enough, in our 160 years history, we've tackled some significant supply chain challenges, not least with the construction of the Suez Canal, the genesis of our company identity. Our focus from then to today is in shaping a sustainable environment, both now and for the future. As a global leader in environmental engineering and services, we share a passionate commitment to making a positive impact on the climate while supporting a circular economy. In total, Suez has more than 90,000 dedicated employees, harnessing over 10,000 combined technologies across 5 continents, serving 450,000 businesses and industrial customers in over 130 countries worldwide, all working to reinvent and innovate the way in which we manage water, waste, and energy resources. Each day, almost 11.5 million cubic meters of water gets treated thanks to technological innovations provided by our business. Suez has built this reputation by working with partners and stakeholders worldwide, providing solutions to address key resource management challenges at both the industry, municipal, and consumer level. My role at Suez is to head up the supply chain team for the water and technology unit, who bring a vast array of technologies, services, and solutions to the table that you can see on the page here to deliver project success to environmental and process challenges. Our comprehensive portfolio of technologies and services means we can address a huge range of needs, both immediate and long term. As a dedicated partner, we work with consumers and customers to determine the right combination of technologies and solutions to meet their goals. Our team is there from planning and implementation to on-site operations and analytics. We provide a unique integrated offering across the entire process and water value chain, from upstream consultancy services to project financing for large construction projects. From the provision of an extensive range of equipment and systems and associated services to the supply of adequate chemicals and associated services, full range of life cycle services all along a project's lifetime, as well as our outsourced services. However, I'm not actually a sales guy. What all of this often means to myself and my team is significant supply chain complexity, especially as it pertains to filters, membranes, and equipment solutions, but where one of the more complex technical offerings is in the chemical and monitoring solutions arena, or what many would regard as specialty chemicals. One of the simplest analogies I've found for explaining the supply chain manufacturing and product intricacies of the specialty chemical solutions offered for water and process treatment is comparing it to a cocktail bar, as almost everyone is at least familiar with the concept of a cocktail bar. If you think about it, every customer at a bar has a specific requirement and taste for what they're requiring. And it's no different in our business. So simply put, when a customer walks into a cocktail bar and asks for a vodka and tonic, the bartender will take the components, vodka, ice, tonic water, a slice of lime, etc., and carefully and expertly combine it, presenting it in an appropriate glass, often along with a straw. You don't need to be a cocktail connoisseur to appreciate that the active ingredient in the drink is the vodka, but the other components also need to be of appropriate quality and very much have an important role to play in the overall customer experience. In manufacturing terms, at Suez and many other specialty chemical solution providers, we do the equivalent of designing and manufacturing the vodka, the active ingredient, with a distinct aim to meet the customer's needs. We then carefully source many of the other items from providers with expertise in those areas, but whose name is not really in solving the same problem presented by the customer. They are often simple commodity providers. Companies that make tonic water and straws don't typically want to run cocktail bars. For sure, many people make similar cocktail components, and depending on the bar that you go to, you'll receive varying levels of quality. It's fair to say that not everyone likes their vodka tonic made in the same way. They like it just so, and we aim to do just that. The other reality is we're often selling Bloody Marys, not just simple vodka tonics. If you've ever seen what goes into making a Bloody Mary, they are considerably more complicated vodka top cocktails with more components to consider that need to be in very specific ratios. People who like that drink know the best places to go to get it. And so the places that serve good versions have great reputations for doing so. At Suez, often when a man walks into a bar, he simply has a problem that needs solving. And one of the main ones is they don't even know what they want to drink. But often there is one of our signature drinks perfected to suit their needs. However, that does give somewhat of a supply chain problem because some products and services are very popular and others we just sell to that cherished customer when they come in on a special occasion. As a result, we have thousands of different product combinations and thousands of different applications and fulfillment scenarios, which is what makes me so interested in using technology and innovation to tackle supply chain issues, ranging from forecasting and demand planning through novel manufacturing techniques to innovative endpoint supply solutions. Now, our part of the business in specialty chemicals doesn't date back 160 years, but it isn't new either. So it's not uncommon to find infrastructure dating back some 40 plus years, and our customers have similar. A big aspect of our business is about asset protection. This industry is not like e-commerce, life sciences, or microelectronics. It's evolved over several decades from different places. But what many don't know or appreciate is that we serve almost all industries with environmental solutions today. People need heating, cooling, water and waste solutions more today than ever. But how does an industry that has its roots in the past, but which is innovating for the future, ensure that its manufacturing and supply chain operations keep pace? Can you teach an old dog new tricks? For many of us, our supply chains are complex, multifaceted processes encompassing everything from customer care, order receipt, through to manufacturing to warehouse fulfillment and logistics. With many companies continuing to work towards supply chain optimization, innovation is key. As new technologies emerge that hold promise for streamlining fulfillment processes to speeding up logistics, the traditional supply chain is rapidly transforming into a more advanced, more functional process driven by digital technology, artificial intelligence, and other innovations. I'm going to take you through a few areas where we're embracing and exploring opportunities to drive transformation. These are in no particular order, but it seems logical to start with supply chain digitization. I'm sure most of us are encompassing all efforts to integrate corporate systems into a unified whole, as well as implementing new digital technologies. This will only continue to be a priority going forward as the goal of digitization is smart, efficient supply chain ecosystem that demolishes silos, creates transparency, and enhances responsiveness. It envisages a digital environment that does away with manual processes and provides a single view of the organization. It encompasses initiatives for creating paperless systems right through to techniques for modeling supply chain networks and creating what-if scenarios. Our business unit at Suez was formed through numerous acquisitions, but the most powerful technological driver, which is now our very backbone in supply chain and beyond, has been to transition to one single instance of our ERP. Analytical visualization tools and reporting that can transform the data held within have been a game changer not just for my industry, but for most who harness that potential. I think most will agree that supply chain solutions will continue to move to the cloud. While many organizations still rely on legacy on-premises supply chain software, we all accept now that the future is in the cloud, available in many forms, including software as a service, infrastructure as a service, and platform as a service. Supply chain cloud computing offers flexibility, scalability, and a global reach while doing away with the need to maintain extensive, expensive on-premises computing infrastructure. According to McKinsey, cloud-specific spending in 2021 will grow 6 times faster than other IT expenditure. Able to work with and complement on-premises supply chain software, cloud-based supply chain applications offer a better user experience, greater functionality, and easy access to new features and releases. One ever-increasing trend seems to be that omnichannel supply chains are becoming the norm. In response to customer demand, businesses continue to make big strides towards offering a true omnichannel buying experience, allowing customers to seamlessly shop online as well as through traditional methods such as in brick and mortar stores. Omnichannel supply chains place far greater demands on logistics and supply chains with the simultaneous requirement of supplying individual customer orders as well as replenishing stock. I can give you examples today in my own business where we allow customers to place orders via our e-store from their smartphone or computer, but in other areas where we still receive handwritten faxed orders. The switch from single and multi-channel supply chain to omni-channel supply requires a complete rethink of supply chain and logistics. It appears the Internet of Things is coming of age. As costs fall, research shows that the number of businesses using IoT devices grew from 13% in 2014 to 25% last year, and still forecasting more than 13% annual growth through to 2022. What you can see in the background of the slide here is one of our Suez service and response centers, where we can do everything from monitor our customers' assets at refineries, factories, data centers, power stations, and hospitals, as well as have real-time visibility of items such as inventories of our chemicals or the performance of our water treatment equipment, such as reverse osmosis units providing ultra-pure water. In other parts of the Suez Group, we are also able to monitor entire municipal water networks. Across the world, IoT allows organizations to monitor inventory, automate stock reordering, and keep track of deliveries, all in real time. Sensors can predict wear and tear on equipment, allowing timely ordering of spare parts. IoT increases supply chain transparency, supported by real-time tracking technologies. Big data and artificial intelligence are also transforming the supply chain. In fact, it's not the tracking devices themselves that are transformative, but tracking devices paired with cloud-based visibility and analytics platforms. With the use of IoT devices, companies can share supply chain information without the need for human interaction. And by leveraging big data, artificial intelligence technologies transform raw data into actionable insights that aid decision-making. A variety of supply chain innovations, such as collaborative mobile robots and drones, and even legacy functions like fleet optimization, leverage AI for smarter decision-making. Big data is here. Thanks to the digitization of the supply chain, the growth in IoT, and the greater availability of consumer data, customers and companies today have access to enormous amounts of data and are using this to generate business intelligence ranging from understanding past performances to predicting future trends. Using big data, it's possible to determine customer preferences and market trends, as well as redefine the supply chain. At Suez, we've been capturing and utilizing reams of data from our customers, our own manufacturing locations, as well as our delivery fleet in order to optimize our manufacturing processes and fulfillment operations and inventory optimization. The trick for us supply chain professionals is to harness and decipher the enormous amounts of data now available to us to drive productivity whilst not drowning or being misled by it. With greater access to big data, more organizations are turning to AI and machine learning to simplify tasks and automate procedures in many instances. It's now at a price point making it far more available than ever before. Predictive analytics and machine learning algorithms are being used to improve planning and decision support systems, identify purchasing patterns, automate tedious warehouse processes, and manage inventory. Many organizations are using AI to replace humans performing repetitive supply tasks and to perform complex supply chain calculations. The technology used in 3D scanning has evolved greatly over the last few decades. All three components of the scanner, computer system, photodetector, and light source are becoming more and more technologically advanced and producing more accurate scans. As the technology is popularized, it's becoming more cost efficient to manufacture and distribute as well. Recent developments in handheld 3D digitizers and robust 3D printers have created an evolutionary boom within the 3D scanning marketplace. As a result, industries are benefiting from greater accessibility and capabilities of 3D scanners. Life sciences, 3D scanners can rapidly scan and image a human body, enabling more accurate and cost-effective customization in a number of use cases where products must be individualized. Consumer products, 3D scanning is making modeling and design capabilities available to the masses. With new technology, smartphone owners are now able to take accurate scans of objects using just their mobile devices. Construction, high-end scanners enable rapid surveying, site modeling, and layout design. Within my own engineering team, we've been using this technology when making engineering modifications to our own manufacturing operations, where we only have old and often incomplete piping and instrumentation diagrams. With accurate and quickly produced scans, structural design can be completed more quickly. In addition to user-operated devices, 3D scanning technology has the potential to be a key component in service robotics. 3D scanning is changing how we view, understand, and interpret the tangible world around us. By absorbing an environment or an object into a virtual space, a deeper and more thorough understanding can be achieved. Models can be developed with higher precision, design processes can become more efficient, and difficult to access areas can be easily viewed. Recent advances in 3D scanning technology have the potential to yield benefits in a number of industries and drive cost savings across the supply chain. Many manufacturers are exploring novel and transformative means to harness new technologies such as 3D printing or additive manufacturing techniques to change their approach to manufacturing, bringing it closer to the end consumer. In the world of specialty chemicals, 3D printing doesn't achieve that aim, but the challenge of flexible, localized manufacturing has been addressed in other ways and has also been truly disruptive in the marketplace. Rather than the traditional methods of batch or reactor-based blending, we now apply in-line mixing, in-truck mixing during transportation, and even in situ mixing directly at the customer site. In many ways, not a new concept, as most people will be familiar with having their paint colors blended to perfection at their hardware store. But when concepts traverse across sectors, then they can be truly transformative. At Suez, sustainability is a core value, but it's also becoming one of the key global supply chain trends, with customers demanding green products and sustainable practices. Recent reports showed that products marketed as sustainable grew over 5.5 times faster than those that did not. For Unilever, the organization's sustainable living brands were responsible for 70% of its growth in turnover. Suez is driving innovation by constantly looking to make our products and wing-to-wing supply chain more sustainable with a reduced impact on the environment. These trends highlight the importance of eco-friendly supply chain practices, such as switching from plastic to cardboard packaging and using smaller packaging. Organizations need to be aware of their waste streams and their carbon footprint, taking steps to become carbon neutral and include sustainability as part of their supply chain planning. Closely connected and somewhat symbiotic with sustainability is the growth in circular supply chains. More and more, there's a move away from the traditional linear supply chain to the circular supply chain, where manufacturers reuse and rework discarded and worn out products through refurbishment or by recycling components back into raw materials. Apart from regulatory requirements for the safe disposal and reuse of discarded products, there's a clear indication that customers favor businesses that recycle materials. And many leading companies are discovering additional value through circular supply chains. Within the Suez Group, we're leading the way with approaches to transformative recycling innovations. And within my own business unit, our service offerings pictured here, where we have reusable delivery methods with reduced waste, are one of our biggest growth areas. To effectively compete, there's no question that supply chains need to be more flexible and agile than ever before. Customers' expectations are higher than ever, and that providers are able to respond to changes at short notice. This is a radical departure from traditional supply chain thinking that focuses on reliability, consistency, and low cost. As a result, one of the notable supply chain management trends is a switch from offshore manufacture to local or nearshore supply. Advantages of this include shorter delivery times and lower shipping costs. With less money tied up in stock, organizations can respond more quickly to changes in demand. On-demand warehousing, part of what's considered the shared economy, is another supply chain innovation that addresses a common pain point, which is where companies need additional warehouse space temporarily, but don't want to take on the operating cost of opening a new warehouse facility. To solve this challenge, there are now service providers that connect companies in need of warehouse space with businesses that have space available. It's a win-win, helping warehouse companies minimize operating costs by eliminating the need to expand for short-term needs, whilst offering participating warehouses an opportunity to monetize their available space. In my world, where we're often dealing with highly regulated or highly hazardous materials, there are certainly some limitations to this model, but for many, it can be a game changer when exploring new or fluctuating geographies. Lastly, and hopefully not unlucky for some, at number 13, as companies respond to conflicting demands of omnichannel supply chains, especially with regard to the need for flexibility and agility, many are turning to robotics to speed up labor-intensive tasks. Robots are ideal for repetitive tasks such as sorting, counting, and even for fetching and carrying products into the warehouse. The role of supply chains as value drivers entails that there is a constant need to enhance speed and productivity. After all, the performance of supply chain ties inextricably to the success of a business. Robots have become a key component of supply chain automation, and they will continue to transform operations. In fact, projections suggest that 620,000 warehousing and logistics robots units will be shipped per year by 2021. Similarly, global sales will reach 22.4 billion the same year. Indeed, many businesses are recognizing the advantages of robots. Thanks to supply chain robotics, more and more companies can enter to the growing demand for same-day delivery purchases. Moreover, it's improving the ability of businesses to innovate, deliver exceptional customer service, and gain a competitive advantage. With the rise of technological advancements like AI, machine learning, and the Internet of Things, robots have become immensely sophisticated over the years. Nowadays, robots in supply chain automation have advanced mobility, connectivity, and safety measures built into their systems. These capabilities are driving robotic adoption in a broad range of applications across different industries. One of the notable advantages of robots today over those from the past is that they are now less obtrusive. As a result, they are more suited to work alongside humans. Intuitive learning models even allow technicians and employees to train autonomous robots. As AI continues to advance, such learning will enable robots to be more responsive with minimal human feedback. Different types of robotic equipment are bringing new levels of efficiency to supply chain automation. Drones with RFID scanning technology can perform real-time inventory visibility in warehouses. Robots operating with the goods to person function are eliminating a lot of unnecessary walking. They carry carts and move products between workers and stations. Likewise, they can be programmed to travel flexible routes in the warehouse. Self-driving forklifts perform load handling processes that provide little added value. Some of them have features such as navigation lasers, 3D cameras, and acoustic warning indicators. These enable forklifts to safely move around in the vicinity of human workers. Every year, the average warehouse worker wastes nearly 7 weeks in excess motion. This wastage translates to more than $4.3 billion in labor. Employing autonomous robots for supply chain automation can reduce costs and raise revenue potential through optimized productivity and efficiency. They can also boost speed and inject flexibility into processes. For businesses, such abilities lead to increased value creation. Supply chain robotics allows human workers to pass on tasks that they cannot, should not, or do not want to do. Among the advantages of robots is that they can work around the clock with consistent levels of quality and productivity. They can also access highly hazardous environments. This case leads to improved employee safety. Additionally, supply chain robotics reduces the error rate and frequency of inventory checks. Optimization of picking, sorting, and storing times is also possible. Moreover, robots can bolster supply chain automation by performing mundane tasks with a lower value. This fact enables employees to focus more on strategic efforts that are more challenging to automate, such as field service. As the prevalence of robotics in supply chain automation continues to increase, roles and responsibilities of employees are likely to evolve. Retraining staff is necessary to equip them with skills to operate such advanced machines. Businesses must strive for a balance between automation and human involvement to ensure seamless progress. After all, robots in the supply chain should support humans, not replace them. When looking back on recent supply chain technology and innovation trends, it's interesting to note that the buzz around AI, IoT, and advanced analytics continues to accelerate through the COVID pandemic. However, what's also notable is the newer focus on sustainability and circular supply chains as customers flex their muscle regarding waste and the environment. Agility and omnichannel supply chains are becoming the norm, while the increased availability of big data means organizations are now able to close the loop with prescriptive analytics and make informed supply chain decisions. Thanks for taking the time to join this session today, and I hope it gave you food for thought and an insight into a perspective from an aspect of supply chain not typically covered in the mainstream. I hope you enjoy the other sessions during the conference. If you wish, you can connect with me on LinkedIn, and I look forward to hearing your own insights. Thank you.